Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going over my Draftkings and Fanduel lineup builds for Game 6 of the NBA Finals tonight. This could quite possibly be the last game of this NBA season for us to look at. So I wanted to say thank you for all the support on the videos this year for NBA. I wanted to say thank you for just helping the channel grow a little bit more each year. This is my 5th year of doing these videos, so just want to show my appreciation. I'll still have baseball videos for PrizePicks, and it seems like PrizePicks is where all the interest is at right now for baseball. But we'll see if I can get some other videos out there, and then football will be here before we know it in a couple months. But as always, if you enjoy the videos, be sure to hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out my links down below in the description. So last time out, it worked out really well. We settled on Andrew Wiggins at captain. He dropped 50 plus and was great, even though Curry was disappointing. Today, captain-wise, I'm not sure if I definitely will try to have Curry or Tatum in one of the builds. We'll see. I don't know if I'll make a lineup with both of them. They're both, pretty expensive. 17-4 in the captain spot, and then just in general, 11-6 for Steph Curry and 11-2 for Tatum. Curry coming off of a really poor outing. I'm going to try to have him in and prioritize Curry today. I think he's going to have a great game, especially being a closeout game and just having one of his worst shooting games ever. 7 of 22, 0 of 9 from 3. Don't see that happening again, and he's been just so good this postseason. And, he really wants to win that NBA Finals as well. So if he has another poor game like that and Wiggins goes off again, it could be Wiggins' time. But I think Curry's going to do whatever he can to have a great game and make sure he doesn't lose that NBA Finals MVP trophy. Other picks I really like are Marcus Smart, $8,000. He last time out just didn't have any really didn't have much peripheral stats either. Just 5 combined rebounds and assists, where he's usually getting you 9 to double digits. He also didn't have any blocks or steals, and he's usually going to get you at least a couple of steals, not really blocks. In general, still played big minutes and still had a decent shooting night, but 20 points and only 26 fantasy points, something you don't normally see usually. If he happens to get you 20 real-life points, you're expecting well over 30 fantasy points just with the peripheral stats that he gives you. So I'm expecting Smart to have a good game. Klay Thompson, it looks decent as well, especially with everybody going with Wiggins now. I do like Wiggins. He came through for me all throughout the postseason. He's been awesome. 82 compared to 76. Klay Thompson is going to be a lot less owned, so we'll see if I like Thompson instead. I like those guys a lot more than Draymond. He's just not really doing much offensively, and then whatever he does gets you defensively with the with the rebounding and maybe with some defensive stats. It's still not going to be enough in my mind to outperform Klay Thompson or Wiggins. In the 6K range, I have no interest in Looney with his 15 minutes or so that he plays now, coming off the bench. They have really capitalized on going smaller, and it's helped them turn the series around after starting big in the first couple of games, going smaller with Otto Porter to start, but then really giving Gary Payton more minutes has really benefited. And speaking of Gary Payton II, I like him at $4,200. We've seen the upside that he can give you in terms of just minutes played. He played 26 minutes last time out. Other games he did play less, but if he comes into the game and they end up scoring points and he ends up playing good defense, then he's going to get the minutes over a guy like Otto Porter, who's played 14 minutes. And after shooting the ball really well most of the postseason games, the last couple he struggled from the floor. He's missed his last 4 3-point shots. So I do like Payton more than Porter today. And then you can maybe consider Grant Williams at his price tag, but there's nobody cheaper than Grant Williams I'd be looking to consider. I do like Robert Williams, though. Another game where he played 30 minutes. So I really like the minutes that he plays. And just like Marcus Smart, he had no stocks last game, which is just not going to happen again for Robert Williams. He's typically going to get you at least multiple defensive stats, whether it be blocks or steals or a combination of them. And another game where he played well, 8 rebounds, 10 points, just missed out on a double-double, but he also gives you assist opportunities. He can get you a couple of assists with the minutes that he plays now, and all the shots are coming right at the basket. So he's going to shoot a high percentage of them, and that's been evident throughout the series where he's only missed 2 shots because most of his shots are right at the basket where he's just dunking it. So that's $6,800. Looks like a very, very nice play just to save some money. This leaves us with just under 75, I believe. So I'm looking at maybe Klay Thompson here, $7,600. Leaves us with 6K left, and we can consider putting in a Derek White. That looks pretty good to me. We get to a lot of the shooters that I want to get to with Steph Curry. We get to Klay Thompson. Hopefully he can have a good game offensively, and he's actually done a decent job of not being terrible with the peripherals. He's been getting you some defensive stats, which has helped his fantasy, and he's going to chip in with at least a handful of defensive stats now that he's playing just absolutely monstrous minutes. And he's been shooting the ball really well. And he has had some problems with Boston. He made some comments about the crowd after, I think, game number 3 or game number 4. This is one build you can look at. Another one would be going a bit cheaper at captain. So like if we put in Robert Williams here, hope that he has like a high 30 or low 40 point fantasy outing. If he has a great game with blocks and steals, that's definitely possible. Put in Marcus Smart. Put in Steph Curry. Value-wise, still looking at like Gary Payton as a favorite of mine. And now we have about $8,000 left. We can consider getting to, see if we try to get to Tatum, we have 48. So if you wanted to look to pay out for both superstars, Curry and Tatum, this would be a build that I don't hate. You're still getting a balanced approach, 3 Celtics and 3 Warriors. And just the Warriors that you're getting to, besides Curry, they are not high usage players with Payton and Porter. I don't know if I would love to have both of them in there together. Instead, we can maybe try to get to like Klay Thompson. And then instead of Tatum, put in Wiggins. If you do think the Warriors will be able to close this one out, then this one is a solid build. And it's probably not going to be super popular because you do get Robert Williams at captain. And then you get 4 Warriors in there. In terms of my core plays, though, I think today I might try to get to Curry at captain. I do like Tatum, but I'm not sure if I will be able to prioritize Tatum today. Really bad game free throw wise, only 2 of 6. And he hasn't really been great from the free throw line in this series. But I do prefer Steph Curry to Tatum. And I think you can even make a case for Jaylen Brown. Like if he shot really bad, 5 of 18. Played 44 minutes though, and this one he's going to play at least probably low 40s in minutes, if not play like up to 44, 45. So I don't mind him. He could outscore Tatum today. I wouldn't be surprised. But for me, I'm going to prioritize Marcus Smart from the Boston side. Going to probably get to a value pick in Gary Payton. And then I do like Robert Williams with the rebounding that he can give you with the easy shots right at the basket and the defensive stats that he can help you with. So that's it for DraftKings. Go ahead and look at FanDuel. All right, so over on FanDuel, Steph Curry is your most expensive player. Not surprising. Look to play him in my MVP spot. We'll see if I do. FanDuel's a little bit easier to get to Tatum as well if you wanted to. We're left with 95. We do have a really good price tag on Klay Thompson, who's only at 10.5. That price tag is pretty crazy. And then Robert Williams is now $2,000 more expensive than Al Horford on FanDuel. So you could easily go with Horford instead, and now you have $8,000 where you're going to be probably looking at like maybe Otto Porter, Grant Williams, but probably Payton is still my favorite. And then if you wanted to use the $500 that you have left over, you could upgrade from Klay to Draymond, but it's probably something I'm not going to be looking to do. Instead of looking at Tatum, if you wanted to save some money and go with like a Marcus Smart here, we're left with $13,000, so you're able to put in like a Wiggins here. And if we do that, then at the pro position, I would be looking to put in Wiggins. Robert Williams' price tag has really come up on FanDuel. He's way more expensive than the kind of the second tier players and the guys that can still give you a lot of fantasy points. Not that Williams can't, but Klay Thompson's $1,500 less. Horford himself is $2K less, so I'm not sure I'll be able to get to Robert Williams on FanDuel. I think something like this looks pretty solid personally, and if you want to save some more money, you can consider going with like Jordan Poole or Derek White. If I do fade Tatum on DraftKings, I'm probably going to fade him on FanDuel as well. Probably wouldn't want to root for him on one side and not the other. So I think this might be some sort of build. You can maybe flip-flop like Wiggins at captain, but this is a lot of Golden State pieces, so I might end up putting in like a Horford just to not go crazy with the Warrior side and do something like this where you still get to Derek White, who's at a good price tag, and he's still going to play the minutes. He played 21 minutes even though he shot really poorly, but he's had some decent games this playoffs and at least early on in this series. So I think this one looks pretty solid as well. Like you're getting to 3 Boston Celtics players, but a couple of them are really cheap compared to where they have been for most of the playoffs. So I think these 3 would probably be the ones I start with on FanDuel. Maybe you put in Wiggins at star instead of Smart, but I think that's something that a lot of people will do. But in general, and maybe instead of Wiggins, we could also look to Klay Thompson just to save some money. Like that 10.5 price tag might be too good to pass up. If you do that, we'll have a 10.250, so maybe looking to now put in Wiggins, and we're left with 8,000, so maybe just stick in like Grant Williams here, something like that. I'm not 100% positive, but I still think I'll probably stick with these three with Wiggins at the pro position, but I probably want to still try to get to Klay Thompson if I can. But that's it for the video. Best of luck tonight. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you guys will make some money tonight, and I will see you all next time.